Alright, hello YouTube. Welcome back to some more Kerbal Space Program. I left you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger last time because we're about to launch our big relay satellite. This is a big 3-dish relay with the intent being that this will take over from the slightly overtaxed Duna and Eve Ranger relay satellites, given that they quite frequently have to be co-opted to point at something different, depending on what our missions are. They do work, but rather than have them have to keep switching over, I figured it would be good to have some more dishes available, especially on the same satellite. So, this will launch to 4.5 million meters, or 400. It's not that many actual kilometers. I think the kilometer thing's wrong on that, or there should be a comma in it somewhere. But anyway, now we're going to launch to polar orbit, and what we're going to try and do. Yeah, if I wait a little longer, okay, that should put us sort of somewhere between these two in the middle. So the more angles we cover, the better our, well, coverage. Right, I think we're ready to launch. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. Ooh, that was a bit of a tip. Now we're trying out the Lynx engine. I don't remember getting this, and I'm not sure what sort of rocket it's meant to be for, but it seems to be doing quite well, and the performance stats look great. Might be quite a high thrust engine, that might be why. But yeah, we're ascending pretty rapidly, honestly, and the thrust gimbal's enormous. It's just really expensive, this. We've used a lot of money on that. No, actually, no, only about 20,000, right? 20,000? Yeah. Didn't even cost that much. Ah, I guess the Lynx is just good. Maybe it's a more modern engine than some of the ones we're running. Yeah, no, excellent performance by the look of it on that one. We're going speedy. There's another nice screenshot. A sort of shockwave of fire behind us and the sonic cones forming on the fairing. There's another one. I do like getting nice screenshots off this game. Ooh, there's a new one. I've seen that pattern before. Is that the hex core inside there doing that? As soon as it deploys the fairing, I'm going to manually deploy the main antenna, or the main Omni antennas, because I don't want to lose signal before we hit the orbit height we're reaching for. In theory, if these are at about 1 million, we should be somewhere here, quite close to the moon. I'm hoping the man isn't actually going to get in the way of this thing's orbit, because it is possible. And also that we'll actually have enough fuel to hit the orbit we're aiming for. Oh, I lost it immediately. Are you kidding me? And the Gigantos broke. What happened there? Okay. I'm going to have to revert to vehicle assembly very quickly and fix a few problems. I think the solar panels might just be being too close to the thing. I should also turn off auto deploy for MechJeb. It might have tried to extend them and broken them. Yeah, so we're going to change those two bits. Change the shape of this. Nice flat section past there, and then... Okay, still nice and pointy. That's fine. So that bit will be something to fix on launch. And what was the other thing we wanted to do? Actually, I might even beef this stage up a bit, because I think we're going to need more Delta V than I thought. So let's improve that to a jumbo. Oh, it was the antenna. That was it. Yeah, it lost antenna signal the moment it opened up. I think about it is weird, right? Because we hadn't ditched the stage the antenna's on, had we? Oh, yes, no, we did. Yeah, because it ran out. That was it. Tell you what we'll just do. As a backup, we shall have 3 of these on the inside. We use a lot of these antennas here, but that's only because they work. Right. The beacon. Sort of Mark II. We've got a bit more Delta V, because again, this is higher orbit than I was expecting. We should still be in range, as long as we get that on the antenna extended the moment we, again, ditch the fairing. We will, again, disable MechJeb from doing it automatically, because it's liable to break things. But it should be fine. The actual ascent was quite quick, which I'm quite pleased with. I'm very pleased with that engine, although it was a little bit like... Tell you what we might even do, we'll let MechJeb get the wibbling out of the way by putting the engine on the stage before the launch collapse. And we shall launch in daylight because I would like, I'd ideally not like it to run out of power. Because the solar panels have no sun to work off of. Okay, that's all correct. Oh, auto stay. Yeah, stop at stage 0. Save. Do not auto deploy either of those. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Here we go again. Yeah, there's a bit of wibbling. It's like it's. Is it trying to learn how? Is it trying to learn how the craft reacts? Is it deliberately wibbling? I've seen it do this before. Is it very quickly gathering some data about how the rocket responds to the different gimbal settings, and then it can tell how to fly it better? Or I wouldn't be at all surprised. Well, I thought it could simulate that, but maybe it's checking for certain it actually responds the same way in game. Maybe, I don't know. Show nav ball descent guidance? I guess that's supposed to show it on there, but I can't see it. Maybe you can get it to tell you where you're supposed to be at, but you can still fly it manually? Wouldn't be too surprised. Oh, let's also see where we're at. Yes, it was a very pretty ascent and it was very quick. Both good things in my book. So there's a lot of launch for Kerbal. And again, that's one thing looking forward to. Kerbal 2 is coming out later this year, apparently. It's still scheduled. One of the things they're doing with that is a bit more off-planet stuff, like being able to build bases on other planets that are actually like functional, and you can build and launch rockets from them. So very looking forward to that, when that becomes a full thing. Be able to do some launches for some different planets, and of course, once you can do that, the kind of designs for the rockets can change. If you launch on the moon, aerodynamics aren't a problem. You just don't have to worry about it. So you can make your rockets lighter. They don't need fairings. Like, you can launch them on vacuum optimized engines and get better thrust right from the start, kind of thing. Like, it's a big deal launching from a moon rather than a planet's surface. And I'm guessing that will be a big starting point for a lot of players, will be building a starting base on probably Minmus and then launching rockets from it, because launching from Minmus would be glorious. It'd be like, you need like, what, 500 Delta V probably to get yourself to orbit. I might be exaggerating there, but it's not much more than that. Speaking of larger Delta Vs, we're probably going to need that old Delta V chart soon, because I think our next mission, I'd like to take us back outside the Kerbal system again. We've been pootling around here for a while. We could, and I might do this, we could look into, I have said about doing a manned Duna mission. I've yet to, I don't think, maybe apart from once, I've ever really done a completely successful Duna mission that's manned. So that could be a bit of fun. We can maybe have an attempt at that. Not that one. Got to do this before it puts me in time warp again. Activate. There we go. Oh yeah, I can activate that now. Well, it doesn't seem to activate these. It doesn't seem to... Not to make the 32s. Oh, maybe because they're not deploying, but they're being activated, quote unquote. Quick save. That's not quite right. Okay. If I do maneuver planet, circularize at altitude 450? No. That's what I meant to do. I added an extra, I think, 2 zeros there. Whoops. Right. Anyway, it's fine. That's what we want. Auto stage, down to stage 0 if you need to. Yep. Oh, that's a mod I should probably get installed at some point. There is a... Oh, that's a scan set. There is a mod which is called something like Viewable Antenna Range, which will actually show you how far you can reach, and I should probably get that installed even just for this playthrough. And I've been trying to keep the extra mods added to absolute minimum, for the sake of A, backwards compatibility, and B, lag, but that would be useful to have actually even for this one. Then we'd have a much, much better visual indicator of like, okay, how far can we actually reach with our current tech? We are still in range. No connection. Okay. 3.5 million then, maybe? I think we were quite close. I think we had pretty good range, but... altitude. 3,500 kilometers. So it was showing kilometers correct. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking it was wrong, but... Yeah, let's try this again. Yeah, as we say, I'm assuming it's not just electric charge that we ran out of. Got these all selected so I can extend these later. But we'll need to also activate the transmitters for them. Which are the little small parts. These... Oh, they're buried underneath the actual dish. Can't see them yet. No connection. It's not just... Hang on. Is it a distance issue? Can I see it for 2 million? I'm not sure if it's distance or if it's just like the rotation of Kerbin. Because there's nothing close enough to Kerbin to send back to us reliably or what, but... altitude... 2... I'll also extend those dishes just in case, but... I thought we were good for 4 million kilometers, so I thought we'd be okay. Up to that 4-bit, but... We have our full dishes exposed. Right. And execute. Say, let's try this. It could be a coverage issue. It could just be that mission control drops out of our line of sight and that's what's losing us signal. We are actually connected to the relays as well. Not like we're out of range. I don't think, anyway. Yeah, we're connected to the transmit network. What's going on? Why are we dropping out? Maybe it is a distance issue. Maybe we need a stronger antenna close to the transmit network that's just designed to talk to this as well. We've had to do that before. Sort of sub connections, I guess. We have enough delta V that this thing could burn itself to orbit. The orbit is interesting because it just looks like it's straight down. What do you think? Is this some kind of space weapon in disguise as well? Are we about to fire some kind of laser down on someone? It sure does look a bit like it. Which would be cool, but we haven't quite got that technology yet. Mostly I say this because it's not in game at all, but hey. Maybe get the BD armor guys on that. Yes, at the moment our one and only connection is to the Ranger relay, so that isn't going to be much good. We might have to get one of the relays to Well, the Eve relay is only pointing at Min. Okay, no, the Eve relay needs to be there. We'll recommission the Duna relay to point at this. And that should massively increase our thing. The Duna relay itself will be kind of redundant by this thing, because this can always point at Duna instead. So, yeah, we'll have the Duna relay refocus as a relay to this thing. Hopefully the signal coverage will be reliable enough. Seems really... Well, it's probably because we need to properly geosynchronize it like we did with the transmits, but... Well, not even geosynchronous, but... space out the orbits reliably. Mind you, even there, are they drifting? There's a big gap that they have. They've actually drifted apart. There's a gap now in the transmit network. And it's probably because their orbits are not quite identical. They've probably gradually drifted apart over the years. Used to be a nice pentagram that would... Oh, well, a very lumpy pentagram, but it would... It did at one point give us full coverage anywhere on around the Kerbin, basically. It might be movable, but I'm not too worried about resynchronizing them as long as we get reliable enough coverage. Like I say, we'll get we'll see how the transmission holds, but if we lose signal, we'll get the Duna Ranger to point at this. Should have signal most of the time, unless the two are actually on opposite sides of the planet. Which will happen occasionally, but shouldn't be too bad. given it as 3 dishes, it can still do the work of both, even if I did have both pointing at it instead. And had it talking to the other planets and things, but... Look at this mess. Scansat sure making us work for it. We could always uninstall it, I suppose, but I want to leave it on for now. It's interesting to have the mechanics expanded on a bit. I'm not sure it's necessarily an improvement. Yeah, so nearly in our new orbit. Quietly burning away. It's one of the gentle rockets we built for a little bit. It's chugging away there. Oh, we could have put a scanner on it. Well, we can get a little bit of a view of Kerbin. What is that? Question mark? What are the question marks? Is that anomalies or something? Huh. Well, there's something there at any rate. Right. It is in place. Let's... Well, quick save, and then we'll do a quick orbit and see what the signal coverage is like. Does it drop out at some point? Yes, it definitely does. Okay. So, tell you what. We'll have... Switch to them quickly. We'll have the Ranger relays point dedicated at this. They will be upgraded to, like, high out transmitters. Or redesignated to high out transmitter. And then we will have that one point one of its dishes at Minmus to continue connection with the base. Yeah, our old satellites. Take you the Delta V readout at the moment. Min-home relay will be changed to what is it called? Beacon. That one's now pointing at the beacon. The Duna Ranger also point at the beacon. Maybe leave the names the same, I guess, considering I forgot to rename the other one. Again, we'll have one of the 3 dishes on the relay point at Minmus. Not actually sure at this point we're actually achieving all that much with this, but with them all having to do shenanigans. But oh. Duna relay also lost signal. The second I get one, I lose it again. Is that because the transmit is put because the transmits are getting messy? Okay. Yeah, no wonder our signals have been so good. I think if we just point it at Minmus, that should blanket it enough for the transmitter over there to get a signal. Oh dear. I think the cone's wide enough that by the time it reaches Minmus, that'll be okay. But yeah, if we just point one to each, so if we go Eve, Duna. Let's say covers 3 targets. I think that said covers 3 targets. That was interesting. It actually tells you. And Minmus covers 2 targets. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That is now broadcasting to all 3 at once. Again, we're getting a signal back. Cool. Okay. That is the beacon successfully in place. So, now we have to start planning for our Duna mission. I think that's what we're going to do. I'd like to do a manned Duna mission. This will be a big one. We'll be able to return full-on science samples back to our space center and get the full value out of it. And it'll be a lot, especially since we'll also get bonuses from having the scientists on board. But we're going to need a crew. I think we actually need a scientist for that matter. And we're going to need a ship, and it's going to be the biggest yet. Also going to see if we have any contracts to increase our income a little bit. Bring Duna Stone back with you. Midland Sea, Eastern Canyon, or Midlands biomes. Could be worth a shot. Landing specific spots on Duna is difficult, though. We know that much. Landing at a whole biome might be a bit more easy. Duna 4. That's a weird... That's a weird, mission? Flyby of Ike, Minmus, Duna, and finish an orbit in Eve. Do we have to do it in that order? No, I don't think so. A bit Minecraft NPC there all of a sudden. Yeah, like that. Exactly like that. Or maybe even leave that one, so we're not tied down to a specific landing spot. Right, we do need to design our ship. And for that, I will pause very quickly and pull up my Delta V readout, because I need to know how much we're going to want for this, and we are going to need to factor in things like landing. And landing will need a bit of extra fuel, because I'm not confident that chutes alone will be enough to get a reliable landing. I think we're going to want a semi-powered landing. So right, I will unpause in a minute, and I'll get back to you. Alright, so first of all, just going to chuck that in for a moment. We're going to want to set our crew. At the moment, we don't have a scientist. We're going to want a scientist. Oh, look at this guy. He's brave, he's smart. We'll have you. Welcome to the team, Dofrod. Your first mission is going to be to go to Duna. No pressure. Right. We probably want a 2 or 3 man crew. It depends on whether we're confident in our ability to not break anything, and then we could pass on an engineer. Am I confident in that? The answer is no. Actually, it would be a lot lighter to bring a 3-man crew. I really think it might be best to bring a 2-man crew. I think it might be best to bring a 3. So, this will be our pod that brings us back to Kerbin and lands. We do need it to be able to dock with our interplanetary transport. Problem's going to be the docking port. Where do we put it? Because it needs to be balanced in line. Ideally, it would be at the front, but we'd like to have the parachute there. We could take it off. We have construction abilities. We could actually detach it and just attach it when we're ready to go, maybe. Put the parachute in storage and refit it mid-flight. That could be an option. It's an interesting thought. We'll have to we're gonna have to repack it anyway. No, actually, I think we just have the parachute there. Need a heat shield. Might have to survive 2 landings. Actually, no, it won't, because it'll be a different lander, won't it? So, I'm just considering the best way to do this. Basically, what we need is, we need a lander vehicle that can land on Duna and come back. And that will need, according to my readout, takes 1,300 to get back to orbit at 60 kilometers, roughly. So, we build something like a 2K lander first. Then we worry about the rest later. So, a 2K lander that has a decent thruster weight on Duna. And we're going to build it as if we're assuming that it will be landing from scratch. So it'll have a heat shield on this part of the rocket. It will also need things like science equipment. Could use the thuds for this form factor, maybe? We do probably want something quite flat. A poodle actually wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, 2,500. Yeah, so that should be able to handle land. By the time it's got the parachute as well, as is, it might get heavier. That should handle landing and takeoff. We're going to take reasonably chunky landing legs because I think the surface is not going to be great. I don't believe it's quite as bad as the moon, but it's not the flattest either, so... We've got chunky landing legs that might have to take a shock. We are fairly well equipped otherwise. We'll want solar panels that can retract. Oh, that has little round ones, does it? What about these? I haven't seen these really big box ones before. Oh, and they hold those. Okay. Tell you what. Let's do 2 of those. Oh. No. And accidentally put them inside the thing where I can't get at them. We might have to split this build into 2 parts because I have a feeling this could be a long one, and we're getting towards the end of the episode. put those there. Right, so that's our power. I believe these are retractable. Deployable. We'll maybe test that as well in a minute just to make sure, because we absolutely have to be able to retract those and use them again later. Batteries. Oh, we have some round mounts now, don't we? There's the slightly awkward mid-size. We'll have a 1K up there. Nice and neat fitting. Oh, this also needs to be it's going to be an R. An R model. I think it's the R16. R16. To boldly go. This is a bold trip indeed for me. Right. So we have enough fuel to land and come back and have a bit of orbiting ability. We're going to need, like I say, some way of docking. What I might do is put a docking port on the side, but lined up with this whole center of work mass is going to be wrong. We could always have another land. We could always have another capsule. Have it so instead of docking with, or even have it so instead of docking with the return craft, it just gets near it and the Kerbals transfer over. That would save him more weight. You have to have another capsule on the return craft that can land, but that might not be a bad idea. We might do that. I'm also going to add some drogue chutes. Because you know what Duna's atmosphere is like for landing on. It's thin. We've been there before. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to slide these down. No, not like that. Smooth drag. Right, there we go. That's not quite what I thought it was going to be. Right. Oh dear, sorry about this, guys. Trying to get this to work. Right, and drag that down. Okay, so that should handle our descent. These will deploy a lot higher up. They'll go up 5,000, but the regular chute will stay at... increase that to 2,000 actually, because it is Duna. Right. Save. Right. So what I think we'll actually do is we'll take that off, save some weight. Okay. Could potentially put the heat shield underneath it and have it... Yeah, and have it decouple. I think it could jettison anyway, but I'll put it decup. Yeah, no, it should be able to jettison, right? I'll have that there, and then it can start landing like that. Go through the fast bit, and then it can detach. Or the edges could be used just near the landing. That should be okay, I think. We can always test that in a minute. Yeah, we'll test that in a minute anyway, because we want to test the solar panels. It will, however, need science. This is going to need some more building up, actually, this lander, I just realised, because we're going to need the Science Junior. Underneath there. In fact, that's where the drogue chutes can go. They can go on this thing. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, the door's going to open. It's going to be in the way. Again, aesthetics. Go with that. It's going to have pad landing anyway. It's going to have assistance. Again, we might need to go to do it now. I'm going to preempt it. We're going to increase the fuel tank size a little bit. There we go, 3K, right. We are going to need more science equipment, so we'll have a magnetometer for when we're in orbit around Duna. Don't think we sent one of those out to Duna yet. We'll have the thermometer, barometer, gravioli. Right, seismometer. Mystery goop. Try not to forget anything this time. We had that last time. Trace gas analyzer, so we know what sort of gas is around Duna. Scanning arm we won't need. We're going to have a crew on board. Surface scanner, I guess we could do. It's quite big. No, we'll leave the surface scanner. That's quite chunky, and I don't think it's going to be that critical. If we're going to scan Duna for resources, we're going to do it from the ground, from space even. Right, so that is our lander. That is what will land at Duna. Drop the, let the crew do their experiments, then they'll be able to get back in and return to the orbiter. Now, we won't worry about a surface station. We'd have to add a fair bit more rocket for that. And we could, but I don't know that our transmission's going to be very good. I don't think we have a great reception to Duna. We can reach it. I don't know. Actually, how far can these surface stations transmit back? Could they even reach it? 10G. Oh, pretty high. No. We're going to keep it simple. I want to make sure this lander actually works at all. So we'll stick with simple. We'll just a crude landing. Gain all the science from it. It'll still be pretty good. What we probably are going to need is a ladder. We've been getting away with it up till now because we've been landing on Minmus where the gravity's low enough. I don't know that we'll manage that on Duna, so we're going to add a proper ladder, and we're going to test that as well. We absolutely have to test that because ladders in Kerbal are janky, especially if you want to change angle on them. They are famously awful on that. Take that off and replace that with a short one, I think. Yeah, there we go. In theory, that should work. The keyword is in theory. If we deploy those, are they learning the heat shield anyway? Okay, so we can launch it onto the... We'll stick it on the launch pad like this. See, we'll test the solar panels for attracting the heat shield, for whether that gets rid of the shroud and everything as well. And we'll test being able to get out and in of it with the Kerbal. If all those work reliably, we'll move on to the transfer system. I believe from our previous tests and from the readings I'm getting here, it takes about 800, 900 to get to Duna. We'll probably want to leave a little extra for orbit. So our transfer stage probably needs to have about 3,000 LV on board, I would say. That sounds quite high, but I'm leaving room for the return journey, for things going wrong. I'm just overbuilding it a bit deliberately, so it will definitely work, basically. So, save. First test, solar panels. Extending both. That worked. Retracting. Yes. These solar panels are retractable. Excellent. Ladder test. So we'll do the heat shield first. Jettison heat shield. Engine can still operate and does appear to have actually detached from the shroud, but can't actually see it. Okay. You can't see the smoke coming out of there, though. So it's not that much. It must actually scale a bit depending on thrust. Final test. Ladder test. Okay. Duna's gravity is light, so you might get away with a jetpack. Oh, but I think that's beautiful. Okay, let's try that again. Get back in. If he can get back in as easily as he got out, we are all set for this lander. This is the awkward bit. Yes, he can. Perfect. Oh, excellent. Excellent performance, lads. Good test. Right. This will work. This will at least work for the things we want it to, anyway. Yeah. So. Yeah, and the thruster weight's still okay even for Duna. So. Well, for Duna. So, next stage. Transfer. First of all, for anything else, we need to go back to Kerbin. The coupler. Wherever it is. Size. No, it's the 25, isn't it? Okay, I see. 25 is the 25 meter one. The 500 is the 5 meter one. I see. Okay. First thing. Re-entry. We need to get these Kerbals back once they've got out there. So we will need an actual another three-man pod. Ideally it would be something like that, but we need to actually bring them back. That will actually land them. I think it is 2 of these. It's a really awkward form factor, but we'll... I wish we had a... Oh, the lander can. Okay, we'll try the lander can. Expected to survive re-entry. Well, that is a solvable issue, because we can just put a massively bigger heat shield than it actually needs on it. And then it will survive re-entry, and then we'll just put some side-mounted parachutes on. That should be all it needs. Ah, yes, of course, it's a slightly weird thing, because if you actually open the doors... Oh, they're actually doors! I thought they were just detachable. You can do a version that doesn't even have those, Yeah, you can do a rover version that doesn't even have those. That's interesting. Okay. Put stuff in them. Parachute's probably not going to work very well out of that, though, so close the doors, and we'll just put them... If anything, that's probably overkill, but better to be safe than sorry or something like this. So, basically for a cabin that is not tremendously rated for it, supposedly. So, that should still land perfectly fine. I have no doubt in my mind that that will work. So, that's what the crew will return to. They will return to there. What we probably also want is a probe core. Do we have a 2 meter? Nope, that's where we can use that opening door then. We'll have 2. Why not? Oh, we're not ready to attach those probes? Okay. So in that case, we'll go... time. Oh. In that case, we'll finish this bit up, and then we'll actually finish the episode there, because we're actually running out of time. So what we'll do is we'll have a radial... Yeah, there we go. Then we'll just have... And then we'll go for a couple of dishes on the inside of here. And then we'll just drag that down a little bit. Those doors. Hey, there we go. Cool. We'll still be able to talk to it even when it's out in space. We'll have to leave that episode there for now. We're past my timer. I've actually passed it a little bit. But that's fine. Hopefully you've enjoyed that episode, and I hope you'll come back for next time, or we'll do our actual Duna mission. But for now, I'll see you guys all later. I make games as well as playing them, so if you want to help out the channel, all the like, comment, subscribe stuff is all good, and also check out the links to the games I've made in the description. And I'll see you guys all again next time. Goodbye.